One. Hey, everybody. Flint Town, Flint Town, Flint Town. It's good to see you all. It's Friday. What a great day to be alive. Listen, literally, what a great day to be alive. So thankful for this Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have an amazing day today. And hey, everybody. So good to see you all today. Whether you're in Flint Town or whether you're a Flintstone, just happy to be in the city of Flint on today. Guess what else? Today is my birthday. Well, not today, but this month is my birthday month. This month is my birthday month, and I'm having a ball, enjoying friends, family, going to a lot of different events, just living life. This Saturday, I think a friend of my sorority sister and I are going to go see Mike Matthews' movie at the Capitol. So that's going to be fun. And just doing a host of other things this month. So y'all make sure to wish me a happy birthday for my birthday month. I also want to say thank you for those of you who reached out to me. Um, Played such a major event while I was stranded on the side of the highway. Well, not stranded, but just pulled over on the side of the highway during that huge storm that just came through. That was one of the scariest days of my life. Honestly, literally, my life flashed before me. It was really scary. So I really appreciate you all, even those who offered to come, support me, help me, pick me up, whatever the case might be. I so appreciate my City of Flint family and also my natural family. Thank you all again. I'm happy to be here with y'all today. Happy to be in the land of the living. Can I get a witness on that? All right. So there's a few other things I'm going to talk to you all about later, but I want to get to this interview with now Congresswoman Kristen McDonald-Rivet. We only have a little bit of time with her, but I'm so thankful that she gave us a little bit of time today so that she could just talk about, so what, now what? So you made it to Congress. What does that actually mean? What does it mean for the people who are out here struggling? What does it mean for our society? What does it mean locally, on a local level, state level, and a federal level? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to get off into a few other updates, community news, announcements, and other things. I'll be looking at my Facebook page as well just to see some of the comments that are coming through. But thank y'all for caring so much and for supporting me in all my endeavors, everything that I do. I really do appreciate it. So, Congressman Kristen McDonald-Rivet, are you here with us?
I am here. I'm here. Thanks
Hi.
for having me. I'm excited to be back with you.
Excited that you agreed to do this. You know, you were here prior to the election and you promised that you will come after you win, and here you are today. So
Here I
thankful
am.
that you yeah, that you took the time to do that. Doesn't she look beautiful, y'all?
Oh, that's nice. Mostly I'm
Thank
tired.
you.
So calling me beautiful at this stage is that's really kind. Thank you. I'm glad December is your
Yes.
birthday month. For me, I just think it's so, I'm a mom of 6 kids. So December is just, wild and crazy, so much going on. And so it's always great to be with people who are finding joy, especially with the snow coming down and the roads being what they are, and remembering that this actually is a pretty happy season.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I know you're busy with your kiddos. You have a great balance as it relates to doing the things that you did as a senator, and now the things that we anticipate you doing as a congresswoman. So thank you for that balance and for being such a great example.
Yeah, thank you.
So we can officially say it's no longer Senator Kristen McDonald-Rivet. She did a wonderful job as a senator, and now she is Congresswoman of the 8th Congressional District. You all, I introduce to some and I welcome to others Congresswoman Kristen McDonald-Rivet. And I think I saw that you won like 51% of your race. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so I did, and I'm sworn in on January 3rd, so I'm still Congresswoman elect until then. Finishing out my term in the state Senate through the end of this year. It was a really long campaign cycle, and I think not just as somebody running, but for everyone who last year was tumultuous to say the least. We had so many big swings that were happening, a lot of kind of ugly politics playing out. And when, in our campaign, we just set about the business of bringing communities together, working towards, we knocking on doors and visiting the churches and going into community centers and really building a coalition. So that ultimately ended up really, kind of paying off in the 8th congressional, which is Genesee County, all of Genesee County, all of Bay County, Saginaw County, and about half of Midland. Was actually ended up Donald Trump won our congressional district by 2 points. So it was very much a year where people were leaning to the Republican side of things, but we ended up winning the district by 7 points. And I think it had so much to do with not, you know, uh, not about me as an individual, but more what we were all trying to do on behalf of kids and families and seniors, and understanding how hard it is for so many people to, just get to the end of the month and buy their groceries and, pay their housing bill and all of those sorts of things. So we put a vision forward of being able to do something important for families, and also not tearing each other apart while we're trying to get that done. And ultimately, that brought us across the finish line, and it was really gratifying, especially in a year that was disappointing to a lot of people.
Hmm. Yes, for sure. There's still a lot of people out in the world who's recovering from the election, to be honest. So yes, there's a lot of hurt people, a lot of confused individuals, and a lot of people who are afraid, to be quite frank, about tomorrow, about what tomorrow looks like. So it's definitely something to think about. If anyone has any questions, I am looking at the comment section on Facebook, and the phone number where you can call in is 248-820-5053, 248-820-5053. And Congresswoman, we were just saying that, yes, there's a lot of people that's also afraid. Not only are they upset about the results of the election, confused, but there's a lot of people who are simply afraid of what tomorrow will bring, afraid of how is the economy going to be, the climate right now that we're in. A lot of people are nervous and afraid about that. So you're absolutely right when you make the statement that you just made.
Yeah, I really understand that. I have, I'm a mom who, like everybody else, worries about my grocery bill. And I also, I have a dad who's 86 and still very active, very independent, but I worry about him, and, what the future holds for him, and his care someday. And, and that's reasonable. We all have that kind of um, daily worries, but it also looking right in our own community, of these spaces of hope and these things that we know that are possible, and what we've been able to accomplish and get through together as a community over the last 10 years, last 50 years, what we know this country can do when we all come together towards something better. And so I really feel like there's reason to believe that together we can work toward every child in a safe and strong school, and in a neighborhood where there are parks and safe places to play, and seniors who can retire um, and still have a good quality of life. Those things are possible. We know they're possible. And I think that what we were able to show in this last election is that when people come together around those things, we can be successful. So, I do know there's lots of things that feel scary right now, but when you look around you at the way that people come together, it makes it less scary when you look for the places. Even this example that you talk about of people who know that you're stranded on the side of the road and are just like, hey, how can I help? Nobody said, hey, who did you vote for? Before they said, hey, how can I help? And, that's actually who we are as a community. And honestly, I think that's who we are as a country. And so there's going to be a lot of news stories, and there's reasons to be watchful. There's reasons to be vigilant around things that I think will tear us apart in both in our community and in our country. But mostly, I think we look to community leaders that are doing amazing things, some of them unnoticed, that tell us what we're capable of as a country and what we're capable as a community and what we're capable of as a city. And that's, I think, who we are at our core. And that's, my priorities going to Washington are around, how to elevate those pieces and how to get toward that vision for every kid, every family, every senior. And I think if we stay focused on that and we stop trying to frighten people, we actually can make some progress.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I don't have this question on my list, but I do want to ask it. I saw on the news either today or yesterday that Android and iPhone users shouldn't text each other. And I know that's another thing that's scary for people, because how do you really know who has an Android, who has an iPhone? So you're texting people and it's just something that's like, well, I'm just not going to text anymore. How do we deal with these things that will continue to come out that makes our nation paranoid? Not even more afraid, but also paranoid.
Yeah, I think there's so much wrapped into that. And, I would tell you, and I'm in my mid 50s. So when I was growing up, there was even no such thing as the internet, right? And so suddenly the technology is just coming on faster and faster and faster. And even from our oldest, who's 31, to our youngest, who is 15, the difference in the worlds that they grew up in are vastly different. And so, for one, just thinking about what are our kids exposed to, um, also understanding how private is the data that we have out there, whether it's about who we are or what we're messaging and who we're talking to. And, quite honestly, I think that that is a really important place for government regulation to start to come in, not to restrict or suppress innovation, but to make sure that there are some guardrails and make sure that
Mhm.
when you are texting, or you're purchasing a Christmas present, online, or you're on Facebook, looking at something that you think is interesting, that ought to be protected. That data should be
Yeah.
yours. We actually just passed legislation in the state Senate that's moved over to the state House to help protect to put some privacy guardrails around that data. But it's also, I think, those sorts of things get to the amount of sort of forces that are out there through social media and other places that are trying to feed a bunch of misinformation to us. So
Mhm.
so you read those stories and you think, well, wait, I mean, should I be frightened of this? Is this even true? Where does this come from? And I think it's really hard. And I also think that that helps, is one of the things that contributes to all of us feeling just a little bit afraid all the time. And it's something that I think we have to be serious about and really
Mhm.
figure out.
Yeah, thank you for that. I didn't want to share the link until I had a good understanding and had some context to add to it. So I will put the link on this Facebook thread, but I just didn't want to put that out without anything to back it up that would help give people some reassurance that they just need to be careful about how they utilize social media, how they utilize their phones. As opposed to just putting out, and it's just another thing that scares America and the American people.
Yeah, 100%. I was talking to a group of 10th graders at a school in on Monday, and they're just in the place where they're starting to develop their opinions about the world, and how they want to be in the world and who they want to be, and what their next steps are. And, the big difference between where they are and where I was when I was their age is that most of their information is being fed to them by an algorithm. And so they're really
Mm,
only getting information and news that this algorithm wants them to see. And, and really they, it requires so much more thought and discipline to be able to become an adult now than it ever has before. And
mhm,
so, I think that we really have to, kind of lean in, particularly with our kids and our young adults, about how they're making sense of the world and the sources of information they're getting to do that. Because there are ideas that spread, untrue things that are spreading like wildfire, conspiracy theories and all these things. I think we see it present in our politics all the time. Um, that really cause people not to be very afraid, but also to start to distrust their neighbors, and that really ramps up pretty fast, and it can be scary.
Yes, it definitely can be scary. I know we gotta let you go. I have one last question. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, in your opinion, how do we move forward in unity given the current climate and election results? And just to give a little context about that, um, the, right now people are heavy. Like the climate overall is tense. You can feel it in the air.
Yeah.
So, given your role, and I know Congressman Kildee, we all love him. He did such a great job, and he was so accessible to the people. How do you how do you help with the influence that you have and the role that you will play?
Yeah, I'm so thankful for that question because I care about that so much. And I agree, during the campaign, um, the whole coalition, our volunteers, myself, we knocked on 160,000 doors, right? It's
Oh
not lid
wow.
dropping. We knocked on those doors and talked to people. And I was in one of the um, commonalities of all of them was when I'm talking to people, and it didn't matter whether I was in Flint or Saginaw or Midland, that heaviness is real. I mean, people, you start to feel this hope going away, and so on some hands that has to do with people, still feeling very closed off and not connected to the people around them. But it also has to do with too many people struggling to um, working really hard, but still, $3.50 for a carton of eggs is alarming.
It
And,
is.
and so part of it is the recognition um, that uh, the things that we're worrying about um, are, our bank account and our kids, and, what the future holds. It's probably what our neighbors worrying about too. And honestly, I'm so glad the political season is over so that the yard signs come down and people
Hmm.
stop getting labeled by who they vote for, and
Right.
we start putting forward this image. And I think we remember what it is we're striving for. And I think that that's what Dan was so great about. Look, we all want a place where we can get a good job that will support our families, and we have the ability to take a vacation every once in a while, and
Hmm.
we have a relationship with our neighbor, and we watch out for each other's kids. That feeling, that's, I mean, that's what most people want. That, and if
Hmm.
we can remember that, then we can just have a discussion about how we get there, not a
Right.
discussion about who's right and who's wrong and who's good and who's evil and all of that, but rather like how we just make things better for everybody. And I know that sounds a little dreamy, right? But it is at its core the things that we are learning about, in the pews on Sunday and in the classrooms, in the third grade, about just how to be together as a community, and that unity can happen regardless of which neighborhood you live in or which church you
Hmm.
worship in. At the end of the day, the vast, vast, vast majority of us want one another to succeed. So let's focus on the things we can agree on, which are those sorts of things, and try to let some of the rest of it go so that we can move forward.
Yeah, that really should be the American way. And
Yeah,
you talked about the American people, and I've been hearing reference to all all people should be treated the same.
yeah,
I don't know if you've heard that too, and I agree with the fact that all people um, should be treated the same. But as a nation, it is my opinion that we are not in a place for all groups to be treated the same.
yeah,
And when I say that, all people. need to come together. We need to work together. But there are still so many groups that, from an economic and social standpoint, that are still so far, so far behind. And they're actively working to catch up, whether it's through legislation, in community, families to families, whatever that case might be. So just thinking of those who are in poverty, and I know you're thinking of this, and I know Dan was so accessible, and I really believe that you're
Mhm.
going to be as well. Those who are in poverty and experiencing economic hardship, how does you always talk about putting people over politics? And I say the same thing. I'm like, politics isn't about who's in office and and elevating self. It's
Right.
about being there on behalf of the people. So when we think about this all people concept, knowing that there's such a variation between all people, as you close and prepare to let you go, how do we do that effectively?
I think it's that it's one thing to say these words, but it's another thing to budget to these values and to
Mm,
legislate to these values. So it means we're supporting things like Head Start, which is so important in getting kids who are and families that are economically struggling a boost up, right? Making sure that our schools are adequately funding, being able to support things like free breakfast and lunch for every kid, making
yes.
sure that we're making sure every person should be able to access the prescription drugs they need. Every
Mm,
person, right? So you're right. We have a lot of people who, the way that they're getting. So if we say everybody needs access to their prescription drugs, it means some people need some economic help with that, right?
yes.
That is what it means when you hold those values, but you actually have to vote those values and budget those values as well. And that means the people that you're talking about that are struggling economically and are not there, who don't have an equal shot. It's just but nobody wants a system rigged, but everybody should have a fair shot. And that's how we have to budget, and that's how we have to legislate. And that's what Dan was so good at, and that's what I've been fighting for my whole life. I mean, that is my priority in Washington.
Thank you. Thank you. I know we went over time just a little bit, but we appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
We hope
I
you have
will.
a wonderful
Invite me back. I will come back.
we hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for being a woman of your word. All right. Well, we will see you soon. You have a wonderful weekend.
Yep. Thank
Oh,
you.
do you have any final words you would like to say before you
No,
get off?
just thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for this podcast. I just think it's really important. And you have a very happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. Bye bye.
All right, everybody. So that was Congresswoman, no longer Senator, Congresswoman Kristen McDonald-Rivet. She said she was coming back, and she did. It's good to be a man or a woman of your word. Hey, Mr. Leverett, I see you. Hey, Miss Powell, I see you as well. Hey, y'all, I want y'all to get a look at this view here. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this. George and James and Larry, I think it is, got it going on over here in downtown Flint, opening this wonderful facility up to the community. This is what I'm talking about. That's what it comes down to, us working together, us giving to one another. I know I appreciate it. It is so absolutely beautiful. So, thank you all for chiming in, for those of you who are here, and for those who might see it a little bit later. If you feel the need to share, because someone needs to hear the information that Congresswoman provided us, feel free to share it. I do want you to know, so many of you have been asking about our podcast regarding men and women of the 21st century, dating, careers, and happiness. How do we incorporate those three, being a single woman, a single man in the 21st century? It's coming up. It's coming up, y'all. I just had to get some other stuff out, but we're gonna do it in maybe a few weeks or so. If you are interested in this conversation, let me know so I can try to incorporate you into it a little bit. So I definitely want you to be a part. But you got to make sure you got something to say, and don't be afraid. Don't stray away from the conversation. Okay, so that should be coming up fairly soon. If you have a topic and you feel that it's something that needs to be shared, again, please get with me so that we can talk about it and we can make it happen. I also want to remind you all that the place Somebody Somewhere Has to Care. I'm hoping that you're one of those people who care. Somebody Somewhere Has to Care is scheduled for not this Saturday, not tomorrow, but next Saturday, December 14th. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the play starts at 7 o'clock p.m. It'll be at McCreed Theater, and we're hoping to see you there. The play is up on the screen. Tickets are $15. We would love to have you. It's going to be a wonderful show. Last week we had Daniel, who's also known as Tyler. He's the little boy who plays in the play. That's his character. And we would love for you to come out and see what he's all about and see what the other cast members bring to the table. So, all right. Hopefully, we're going to see you all. Let me see what y'all talking about online. Okay. Shout out to my mom and my grandma. They are truly the reason for my existence. I'm telling you, y'all. Woo-wee. The other night, I thought it was a wrap. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful to be here with you all. I'm thankful to be in the land of the living. And I'm thankful for my mama and my grandma. I just wanted to give them a shout out just because it was on my heart. And then a shout out to Church Without Walls and my brother, Pastor Martez Warren. Some of y'all don't know that Martez is my like real biological brother. But yes, I'm here to tell you today that Pastor Martez S. Warren, the senior, is my physical brother. So shout out to him and the Church Without Walls crew. We had an event on Wednesday honoring our veterans. So George is a vet. I'm a vet. Thank you for your service, brother. And to all of those who are online veterans, thank you for your service. Thank you for all you did while you were in the service, and thank you for all that you continue to do. So thank you all, and thank you all. So I put something on my Facebook page today. If you are a nonprofit, the city of Flint is offering grants. I think they're as low as 5,000, from 5,000, 10, 15. I want to say 50,000 as well. But look on my page and get the information because I think the deadline is coming up soon. So I want to make sure that you have that information. If you don't have a nonprofit, but you can share it with somebody, please share it with someone, whether they have Facebook, social media or not. Send them an email, give them a call, let them know that these funds are available so that so they can utilize it to continue the great work that they're doing. Many of us are doing a lot with very little, a lot with very little. So if you can get additional assistance by filling out this grant, and also getting some partners to work with you, then you know what, it helps you and it also helps us. So check that out. All right, everybody. So the podcast today was So What Now What? So Congresswoman now, Kristen McDonald-Rivet, is now in Congress. She came from Senate. It's like you still have work to do. We're still looking at you. We're still holding our elected officials accountable for the work that they're going to do on our behalf. So I want you all to continue to do that. If you need to call your representative, please call them, send them an email, let them know your concerns. Make sure your voice is being heard. Politics are important. Politics are important. And when I say politics, I'm not just talking about the political scheme of it all. I'm talking about politics where it impacts the people, it serves the people, it helps the people. So it don't matter what narrative comes behind politics. At the end of the day, it should be about serving the people, helping the people, making life better for all of us. And you should want to know what's going on at a local level, at a state level, and at a federal level. You should make that your business to find out what's happening at all of those levels. You should know who your people are, whether it's city council, your commissioners, your state representatives, your congress people. You should know who those individuals are who represents your area so that you can reach out to them as needed and make sure that they're doing the things they say they're going to do in order to make life better for all of us. This information, it impacts you as an individual, it impacts your family, and then it impacts our community. So please, please, please make politics your business. I know you don't want to go down that road, some of us, but it impacts us. It makes a difference and it matters to our lives. So I'm hoping that you all are going to do that. So I think that's all that I have today. I just wanted to come on for a little while and let you all hear what Congressman Kristen McDonald-Rivet had to say now that she's in office. And please, hopefully you all will come out next Saturday to the play. Um, Outside of that, if there's anything else, y'all already know how to reach me. Just reach out to me and let's have a conversation about whatever it is. Men, women, if you want to be a part of the podcast that discusses the 21st century man woman, it's going to be interesting and it's going down. Then get in touch with me. Send me your name, your information so we can talk through it. And I can see, if the segment that's going to come up in December is a good fit for you, or if you need to come on like a little bit further down the line. So, all right, I think that's it for now. Shout out again to Out the Mud Inc. for allowing us to have this space. Um, we really do appreciate it. So, with that being said, have a good weekend, be safe, and live your best life.